Hello, and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, it's been an action-packed week. The transfer window's shut. City lost at home to Bristol Rovers 1-0, and they beat Peterborough United 2-1 at home.
Yeah.
Ooh-ee. Ooh-ee, mother.
So many things to say.
Should we start with the transfer window?
We have such things to show you.
Wonderful, marvellous things. And thing number one of marvellous things, I don't know what order to do this in, is Mohamed Issa.
Yeah, so we just need to bring in the new lads, otherwise we'll be talking about them and everyone going, hang on, what?
It's like when they do we've talked about this before, when they do a second series and everyone's been replaced.
Yeah, or personal bugbear of mine.
Yeah.
And this actually has nothing to do with what we're talking about. When soap operas bring back an old character with a new actor.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it.
Do you?
I really hate it. Unless they were left when they were a kid and they've come back years later, fine. But if it's a full-grown adult and then they go away for a couple of years and then they come back and it's just someone else, it just spoils the the illusion for me.
Mm.
I'm looking at you, Martin Fowler. That's not Martin Fowler. I didn't even watch EastEnders, so I don't know why this annoys me so much. That's not him.
Right.
It's a different guy. Just don't bother. It's all made up. Just say it's his long-lost brother.
Yeah, okay. Who remembers everything that he once remembered?
Well, I don't know. Someone's texted him about it.
Sure. Anyway, someone texts Mohamed Issa, Mo Issa we're calling him, and in he came.
Yeah, did at least have that rumour covered.
Yeah.
Which is more than can be said for a couple of the other ones. But he's in.
Striker on loan.
Sort of loan till the end of the season, but then he's but then that's him done for MK Dons, isn't it?
That's
so
right.
it's from MK Dons, and then I think that's the end of his contract. So I guess we pay a kind of like sort of a bit of a hefty loan fee.
Or maybe we're paying all his wages, I don't know, yeah.
And then at the end of the season he is free to do whatever he likes.
Yeah, which might be signed for us. Okay, so that was player number one in. We're kind of in the wrong order here. We also had Ryan Woods.
Yes.
Highly ginger.
Dangerously ginger. You worry for him on summer holidays, don't you?
Yeah.
And this is the thing I noticed last night we'll come on to, but when he first appeared for Exeter, he is tiny.
Yes.
Tiny little stocky man.
Yeah.
With sort of bow legs. The ginger John Wayne.
The ginger John Wayne. He looks a bit like, if anyone's watched it, Abraham from The Walking Dead. And he walks a bit like some of the other characters from The Walking Dead, the zombies.
Oh, right, okay. Haven't seen it, but
Well,
you have showed me the man. Yeah, just which gingers do you want, Looks like all of them.
Well, he's very red hair, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a nice smile. And yeah, he can't be more than 5'7".
Oh, no, he's smaller than that, isn't he?
I mean, like tops.
Yeah.
Tops.
Comes with good pedigree.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of appearances for Brentford when they were in the Championship,
That's right.
I think.
Yeah.
And then went to Hull.
For $1 million. Hull always seem to buy everyone for £1 million, don't they?
Yeah. How much do we get for Randell
I
Williams?
think it was £1 million.
Right, yeah.
They deal in millions.
Yeah.
If it's not a round up of $1 million, they're not interested.
So I don't think he did a huge amount there and was loaned to perhaps others, but most recently Bristol Rovers, where he played sort of about 14 games.
But that's this season, isn't it?
This season,
yeah, for Joey Barton.
And they don't think he did a huge amount for them there. They didn't seem that fussed about him because he went back. He was recalled from them and then sent immediately.
And we've loaned him again. We haven't bought him.
That's a loan, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Borrowed him.
And then
We've borrowed him, which is ironic because he is borrower sort of
good.
size.
Yeah. And then Charlie Cummings.
Yeah, we actually signed him weeks ago, but we've forgot to mention him.
Yeah.
Young Irish midfielder.
Yeah.
Not one for the first team at the minute. How do you say the name of the team he came from?
I don't know where he's come from.
The Irish team, spelt COBH.
Oh,
Rovers.
Cobb Rovers.
Is it Cobb?
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel like that's not the right pronunciation.
Okay, sure. Might be wrong. Just taking it on how other people say it, I think.
Okay, anyway, we brought him in.
Yeah.
And then finally, one more, wasn't there?
Yeah, whose name I can't say.
Milenic Ali.
Yeah, Milenic Ali.
I had a little look at this. I had a little just cursory Google because that is a name I'd not heard before, and I think it's a name that no one's ever heard before because I think he's the only person on Earth to ever be named Milenic.
Milenic. Do you suppose he was born on the millennium?
Well, I think someone on X-Web said he was born in the year 2000, so I suppose that
He was
makes
born
sense.
February the 6th, year 2000.
So it must be to do with that.
Brand new.
Just call him Millennium. The better name.
That's a good name, isn't it? Millennium.
Yeah.
Good name for a gladiator.
Yeah.
Millennium.
Anyway, his name's Milenic. And he came from
Halifax.
Halifax town on a perm.
Yes. And he is a large man.
Is he?
Proved by the picture of him being gifted.
I know he's muscly.
He's been gifted a car from Thrifty. It's our old friend Jonathan from Thrifty.
He's back.
He's back. Best signing of the window, Jonathan from Thrifty. And Milenic is giving him a bear hug.
They've got to get... Is it that way round, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Milenic's got him in a headlock sort of thing,
Basically that, yeah.
We got to get more Jonathan content.
Loving the Jonathan content. He's my new hero.
Can we have him as the mascot? Let's sack those lions. It's about time. We've had them for too long.
Yeah.
See you later.
Just have Jonathan
Just
driving
Jonathan.
around. Just driving around in a...
I mean, he could be like driving a little car, you know?
No, don't degrade him. I think give him a pickup truck. Let him drive around the edge of the pitch.
No, but there's not enough room, and it'll ruin the pitch.
Why
don't we have him? He could be operating a remote control car.
He could. Or, there's the little gate at the away end.
Yeah.
He could just drive in there and like wave and then reverse out again. But he's a good reverser.
I bet he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be all for that.
All right,
yeah.
something to consider, lads.
Something to think about.
So yeah, Milenic, quite large, I think.
Okay.
So we've bought him, haven't we, from Halifax?
Yeah. He is...
Halifax are Conference North, aren't they? They're not Conference.
Don't know.
I think that's correct.
He's someone who likes to get the ball and leg it as fast as he can towards the goal.
He'll fit in just right with Gary Caldwell. Oh, no, he won't.
Don't worry, Caldwell will soon stamp that out of you.
No, my mistake. They're in the National, Halifax.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, anyway, so that's a busy window in the end.
Yeah, good business.
They seem like players of good mix of kinds of players.
Well, I think Ryan Woods, definitely the sort of player not exactly the sort of player we're looking for. I wouldn't have minded someone a bit more sort of tough tackling, but he's a bit more of a kind of, I think they used to call him the Ginger Perlo, didn't they? So he's someone who can he's got a really good pass on him. Definitely a bit more combative than the likes of Carroll.
If you've got hair that red, automatically combative.
Yeah, fiery.
I mean, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. If like I said, I don't think he's obviously his career has kind of somewhat dropped off from when
I mean, it's always the way, isn't it? We, as we always say, we get them on the way up or we get them on the way down.
Yeah. But I think there's plenty of past evidence to suggest that just because he's not been in the form of his life in the last sort of year or so, that he can't recover some of it.
Yep.
Down here.
Yeah.
And yeah, good. And then Moisa, goal machine. Already talked about him last week.
Yeah.
Again, maybe not quite as much in recent years.
So is the story? Suppose he's fallen out with the MK manager, right?
Something like that. Yeah. So they got rid of. They had both their strikers depart, right?
Oh, right.
The other guy, Lecky, is that his name?
Okay.
Lecky, something like that. Anyway, they are in.
Very nice. So, I mean, that's... The board / management have done what they said they were going to do.
I think we could have still done with one more...
I agree with that.
Big lump of a striker, perhaps,
yes. But they have... Because, of course, Harris was the other...
Harris and Purrington. Yeah,
Purrington,
but yeah. I'm happy with it.
That's built up the squad in useful ways.
Yeah, I'm happy with the amount of players we've got, and then also with, who they are. I think that makes it that we've now got the biggest squad in League One.
I heard that as well. Yeah,
But is that true? I mean, it might be true on paper, but that's including like
you're the young lads who never.
Mitch Beardmore or whatever his name is. I mean,
Yeah.
like, who's not getting anywhere near it?
No,
Yeah.
no. There's about 10 or 15 first team players who are either on loan or never coming on the pitch.
Yeah. Anyway, we got them in. That's the transfer window done. No one left.
No.
And, yeah, another one done.
There are obviously questions, aren't there, around like, is Issa going to sign for us in the summer? I mean, will we want him to, etc., etc.
Yeah, I mean, if in a perfect window we would have got some of these, players, or we would have got players on kind of longer term contracts that kind of looked a bit more. This does look like recruitment for the rest of the season rather than for the future.
And obviously you got to look at what's in front of us as well. I mean, there's some players for the future there. As we know, we've had very good fellas come from the Irish leagues in the past, so can't argue with
and
that.
Perrington's on ours.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what's up with him. No, he's only a deal to the end of the season, but it's not.
Is he? I thought he was longer than that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyway.
So we'll be having these conversations again in the summer, but for now, we've got a squad that should be able to compete.
Yeah.
So, with all that in mind, and with all our positivity, Upstep recently beaten Bristol Rovers, Matt Taylor, no Giovanni Brown, George Friend.
Yep.
Good.
Gorgeous George in the starting lineup. Not done much of that for Bristol, but
yeah,
he had a good game.
And it was very busy. Not quite full, was it? But over 8,000.
They said it was sold out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Right. Well, it felt it. And we let everyone down with a really poor performance. First 5 minutes, we looked slightly lively.
Yeah, that wasn't it?
And then shut down. Rovers scored quite quickly.
Well, it's just back. Yeah, it was just the classic, wasn't it?
Just the classic.
It was the classic St James Park performance from this season, which is, the opposition scores early. Who scored for them? Remind me.
Their new fellow, whose name I can't remember.
Oh, so yeah, this goal, yeah.
That screamer.
Aguilera.
Yeah.
Who's on loan from somebody in the Premier League team.
Christina.
Yeah.
It was almost a bit of a dirty goal, thanks to the referee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the referee kind of gets in the way of Reece Cole.
Yeah. Like a genie in a bottle. I've got no more references.
Does that work? Yeah.
No.
Anyway, he swivels his hips.
Yeah, good.
And, no, it's crap. Anyway, smashes it in.
Yeah.
It's contentious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
Who was it running across? Rankin?
Reece Cole.
Reece Cole.
He's blocked him off, hasn't he? But should the ref stop the play there? Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
But at the same time, I don't know.
All this stuff now where it hits the ref.
If it ball hit him, yeah, it would have to been.
But I don't really get that. Like,
why not? The ref's not playing.
I know he's not playing, but he's part of the field of play.
What if the ball hits the ref and goes in?
Well, I think that's just bad luck.
Who does the goal go to?
The person who kicked it.
What if the shot's going miles wide?
Well, I don't know. It's like a leg by, like you'd have in cricket. Like, I don't know. But what I mean is, the players have a responsibility to not get caught behind a referee. I just think, those things even out. Referees aren't doing it on purpose. It's hard enough for them. Like, they've got to be A, close to the ball, B, not in the way of players, blah, blah,
Fine.
blah.
I just think if he had gone no, I don't think there would have been massive complaints from anybody.
Maybe not.
And probably Bristol Rovers would have won anyway.
Yeah.
Because after we didn't do much, and after that they didn't need to do much either.
No, it was a real. Exactly like we said. How many times have we watched that game throughout the season? 10 times at home, something like that.
Feels like more. Yeah.
Feels like more.
Matt Taylor back at St James's Park.
Yeah, just kept his head down. Absolutely professional performance from.
Yeah, but he kept not giving the ball. He kept hiding the ball, didn't he?
Did he?
Or kind of trying to knock it out of our players' hands and stuff. A little bit of that.
Did you think that?
Bit of needle. There was a bit of needle. But yeah, obviously he didn't come out and wave or anything, like.
No. I just thought they did a job on us. They knew exactly what to do. And
Yeah, I mean, he definitely, if we won the tactical battle in the first match against them, and then they returned the favour,
Yeah. And then as the game went on, there's all these new signings sat on the bench. I know they're not all there, but you're just like, it really baffled me. Niskanen had a terrible game.
I think it's one of the worst performances we've seen from him, and one of the worst performances we've seen from an individual this season. He was just completely hopeless.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not really sure. You can see that what he's got is boundless enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Pace.
Yeah.
Bit of strength.
Never say die attitude.
Yeah, very important. And then he's got nice guy.
Seems like a nice guy.
Oh, what a nice guy. Lovely guy. I'm sick of this. It's the same thing they said about Caldwell.
You want an absolute scumbag in?
Well, I don't care. I just want them to be good. I think it's irrelevant what they're like as a person.
Yeah, I mean, you don't choose your accountant.
To a certain level, do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want Barton in as the manager, but
No.
to a certain extent, I think it's not massively important if they're like, really smiley.
I mean, I don't want to have a go at Niskanen because you're right, it just shouldn't be part of the conversation. And you don't want to slag a decent person off for being a decent person, but he's not good enough for this football team or this football league.
I think what we've seen, based on what we've seen, technique-wise and kind of decision-making wise, he's not quite up to.
No,
he's not up to League. I don't think he's League One standard. I think he'd be all right in League Two and probably really good in the conference.
We shipped out Josh Coley.
Yeah,
he had more about him than Niskanen.
I'd say so. Yeah, and they kind of played in similar positions, didn't they?
Yeah,
you could kind of see Niskanen playing like right back. If we had the kind of back four, if you had enough protection, like he played a completely different type of style of football. Yeah. Kind of like a holding midfielder and a right winger in front of him. You could think maybe, but I don't see it.
When the ball comes to him in the final third, you already know it's going nowhere.
Oh, his touch is just, abysmal. Bounces off him.
So then Caldwell baffled us all.
Why leaving him on for the full game?
Leaving him on for the full game.
Yeah.
Like, I know Wiltshire isn't the world's greatest, but he gets it in the box.
Yeah, I thought also, but more important than that the one person that looked a little bit lively, and again, we'll talk more about him, and he obviously is quite raw, but again, you could make slight Josh Coley kind of comparison. Is Vince Harper, who he brought off?
Yeah.
He looked one of the only ones likely of doing anything, which he, again, will come on to last night, but he kind of proved that last night, But anyway, these were strange. The substitutions came too late, given how long we were 1-0 down for, and didn't look like doing anything.
No.
And then when they did come, it didn't bring on Moisa. I mean, I guess that he's not match.
He did bring him on, didn't he? With 18 minutes.
Yeah. He did bring him on, but he didn't bring him off. Bring him on early enough, no. and also, so I guess he's not quite up to speed. But given that Melenik Ali is injured, I think, I don't know, maybe communicate a bit better, because people just are quite baffled why, it's this big fuss been made. We've got a striker, we finally got him, kind of thing. And then when we really could do with a striker on the pitch, I know we had Cox, but you needed replacing, or someone to come on with him.
Yeah.
Doesn't get brought on until about, there's like almost no time left for him to affect the game.
No. Like,
we weren't giving any service to him anyway, so even when he did come on, he barely touched the ball.
I'm just really. I don't get what's going on. It makes me. What we're painted, the picture here we're painted of Gary Caldwell is elite manager having to work with less than elite players, right? He's got the big plan.
Well, I don't agree with it, but okay.
No, but that's the picture we're being painted,
right,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that's what we got. That's what the picture he would paint himself, and I think the club's buying into. Elite manager having to do his best with League One players, and if he could get us to the Championship or the Premier League, he'd thrive because of the quality of the players that would be around him, because he really has got this plan. Okay, whether you agree with that or not, what if he really is an elite manager? How can he not identify that Niskanen's on like 0% pass completion or whatever?
I know, but also there's no. I think an elite manager would not just have this kind of like plan for these like complicated kind of tactics, but would also be able to affect change within a game. It doesn't seem to have. I mean, this has been talked about so much that there doesn't seem to be any plan B. It's just stick to this plan, and then when it doesn't work, we'll just we'll just change the personnel a little bit, probably too late in the game, but nothing changes. And it's so like this large portion of a large percentage of the time, it's absolutely terrible to watch.
Yeah.
And this was like true on Saturday, first half last night as well. It's just utterly soul-destroying football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like, it's not enjoyable, is it? You know? And
No.
we picked up points, you know, and and actually the league position-wise is, you know, we're doing okay now after this week, and there's a long way to go, and anything could still happen. But even with the uptick in results, I mean, it's just infuriating to watch sometimes.
Yeah, and that, of course, that doesn't mean we can't enjoy like Barnsley or second half of last night.
No, because sometimes it will work,
and sometimes something as we'll see about last night, something different happens, and so there's a change. There's enough of a change that it feels like, okay, we can get on board with this.
Yeah,
but it's
Taylor would do that. Taylor would see a match like he'd set up. He'd see a match not going the way it. This isn't what we expected. This what we planned for isn't going to work, and then he changed it a bit. You know, like not always, but but he did do that. You know, and Colwood just doesn't seem willing, or
I think it's willing, and I think he wants to drill, because obviously League One players make mistakes, right? So when the ball, as we've seen for both these home matches, you've got this pinnacle, whatever the opposite of a pinnacle, like the lowest point of the valley is the centre-back, the centre-back, and the ball comes back to them always, right? Whoever it is, whether it's Czech or someone else, and they knock it out. And I'm assuming that Colwell wants the midfielders or the wingers to move quicker or in more interesting ways so that the left or right centre-back can get the ball to them. I'm assuming that's what he wants to happen. And so he always thinks, well, if they were quicker / better, that ball would happen, then we'd be onto something. But if that can't happen, play it back.
Yeah. And all that teams have to do is put like enough people in the midfield, and that's what Bristol Rovers didn't do, and that's why it worked there. You know, and again, as well as on paper, it's an idea that conceivably will work, but it just doesn't happen like that way, does it?
No.
Carroll's not mobile enough. Reece Cole, is probably the best amongst the best players we've had this season, and is really, and I think is the best thing about our team this year, probably.
Yeah.
And has made and can force things to happen. We'll come on to, but again, he's not someone who's like kind of like mobile enough looking for space. We can't get that to happen for whatever reason.
I mean, maybe Woods is the person, because when he came on last night, he did play some good balls and he did look more mobile. It's hard to judge based on the last half an hour of yesterday's game.
Maybe.
So anyway, we paid our penance by watching some absolute drab 90 minutes on Saturday, despite everyone being excited. And loads of people voted with their feet last night, didn't they? So there were less than 5,000 home supporters.
Yeah, I think we should also say for the the atmosphere at the beginning of the Bristol Rovers match was excellent.
Yeah,
it was so loud.
Yeah.
There's a big they had the flags out and the big,
Which I nearly got caught in about 4 times.
The bigger flag thing. Yeah. And then as soon as Bristol Rovers scored, it just like went quiet and stayed that way, because it was what you can only ask for so much from people. I don't. They're constantly asking us to get behind the team. You got to give something in return.
Yeah.
You can't just ask for that. That is people trying their hardest. They've seen the effort and I think the supporters appreciate the effort from the players,
Yeah.
and that's why they're willing to kind of like, every match start off, really get behind it, and then when it just goes, when it just the same thing happens especially at home, then it's just like, what are you supposed to do? How it's hard to keep it up, that enthusiasm.
Yeah, so 2,000 less people did keep it up, which is obviously...
Yeah, it was hard. It looked almost half empty last night, wasn't it?
Felt like it. Yeah, felt like it.
Which is surprising, really, because, Peterborough, it's a big game.
Yeah.
What I guess one was rescheduled, 2's evening,
Yeah.
3 the weather's awful,
4
we're expected to lose.
5 there's another home evening game next week in half term, so that'll be for the kids, won't it? I guess.
You can watch it on
iFollow. Yeah.
So I suppose that's why there was a lot less people there.
Well,
anyway.
that's a fact. Those are factors.
Yes.
But if we're winning, people turn out.
We were there.
We certainly were. Damp. So changed up the starting lineup a bit. Woods on the bench. Issa on the bench. Ameson in for Sweeney.
Yep. And Harris in for Rankin.
That's right. I do feel sorry for Ameson. I like on a personal level.
It's hard not to.
I
mean, the man just looks like broken, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Even in the little, they do the little videos of them kind of walking in, and they're asking him, some inane question that I'm not. I know they've got to do that for their content. They can't be asking him like, what's your view on the Israel-Palestine situation? They've got to...
I mean, it would probably get a lot of views. But anyway, Karen.
They've got to ask him something. But Ameson just like, he doesn't even want to stop for the camera. He's just keep going and he's got his head down. And it's just like, this does not look like a man who's enjoying himself.
No. And then he gives away a penalty.
I know he's a bit of a kind of hangdog kind of guy anyway, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Even probably when he's having the best time ever, stick him on a bouncy castle, would probably still look a bit dejected.
Yeah.
But he's come in. He hasn't played a match for like over a month.
Right. Yeah.
And he's straight into the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Against the league's highest scorers.
Yeah.
Peterborough United.
Yeah.
And the other change. Oh yeah, we said Harris in for Rankin. Doesn't go well. Ameson keeps booting the ball out.
I mean, the weather's terrible. It's worth saying.
Yeah, and the wind, but but that's. I mean, yeah. And then he gives away a penalty.
I mean, they're all over us, aren't they? But this penalty...
They're all over us. Joel Randall, returning youngster, academy star.
Yeah.
Had a goal disallowed.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of work out what happened, because it seemed like he wasn't celebrating it, like, deliberately.
Yeah.
Then realised it hadn't been given. Then he got a bit of a cheer from the crowd, like a kind of ironic cheer. And then he kind of clapped the big bang. I don't know. Anyway, it seemed at least like he was planning to not celebrate.
Yes.
Which I appreciate. Do you mean? Joel Randall. Couple of things.
Oh, yeah.
One. Kevin Keegan haircut.
Very Keegan-esque.
Keggy.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
The smallest socks I've ever seen. I know the trend is for the old, I think... Don't know who started it. In my mind, it was kind of Neymar.
Oh, yeah.
A few years ago. Rolled down socks. And then they've now, sort of shin pads don't really exist. They have to have shin pads, technically.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine whatever was in Joel Randall's socks, which he's not only rolled down, but must have also cut down, because they sort of look like almost ankle socks.
Yeah.
He must have had the world's smallest shin pad in there.
Yeah.
Because they were,
2 inches above ankle.
Yeah, I'd say. 2 inches, I'd say.
And, like, one of my absolute favourite players to look at was the Chris Waddle at Marseille era. Right,
yeah.
Mullet, Billy Ray Cyrus, untucked shirt, rolled down socks. Love it. Absolute, causing terror on the wings. But they were rolled down socks, which you're right. Randall's basically pulling up toddlers' socks.
Yeah, there was no bunching.
No.
It's just tiny socks.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's a bit of a, fancy lad, isn't he? I think with that haircut.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but honestly,
Blimey.
what are these lot up to?
None of that from the other returning academy youngster, Archie Collins.
No, he kept his head down,
who just
didn't he?
looked normal.
Yeah.
Joel Randall, yeah, like I said, had the ball in the net. It looked really good to me. I thought.
Yeah.
While they had 11 men on the pitch, anyway, kept finding space in and around our penalty area and getting the ball and making things happen. I'm kind of pleased. I mean, yeah, I'm pleased with the end result, which we'll come on to, but I'm pleased for him that he's managed to turn it round at Peterborough, you know.
Yeah.
They've also got that fella Mason Clark playing.
Yeah.
How'd this one go then?
Well,
we give away the penalty.
They're all over us. Then Aimson goes for the old two-footed when the lad's going nowhere. It wasn't even a two-footed tackle like you might imagine. It was, I'm just going to swing my other leg at this guy.
I mean, right in front of the big bank, you know?
No one even said anything. I think everyone was like, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't even... Because he got booed when his name rang out. Called out.
A little bit.
But at the point of the penalty, no one even said anything. I think everyone was just depressed.
Yeah. It's big kind of Harry Maguire vibes, isn't it?
Yeah, but Maguire's got the ability to turn it round, whereas Aimson just felt
maybe, yeah. But I mean, yeah, more so anyway. Like, we gave away... He scored that own goal for England, didn't he? After... After Southgate kept selecting him, you know, but yeah, Aimson's he gives away this pen. I mean, and then sort of none of his teammates even sort of tap him on the back or anything.
No,
you know,
it's
they
grim,
just kind of
isn't
walk
it?
right past him, and then they score the pen.
Yeah, Matey does a terrible celebration. I've watched it back.
Really weird, kind of sort of animal impression.
Do you remember? You probably don't. There was a sprinter, I think he was Jamaican, about 10 years ago. Same era as Usain Bolt. And obviously Usain Bolt's got the lightning bolt.
Cool celebration. This guy crawled along the floor like he was a cat. Right.
George Galloway style, and then like growled at the camera.
Right.
This had that kind of energy.
This is a bit of an upright Galloway, wasn't it?
It was an absolute upright Galloway. Yeah.
With who's in the Ruleletska role there? No one really. The Big Bank. Yeah. Kev Wrigler in the Big Bank in the Ruleletska.
Honestly, it makes me want to throw up thinking about that. And this brought back those similarly chundery memories.
Yeah.
So that was that 1-0, and like we all thought, of course, we'd just seen the Bristol Rovers performance. That's that. Booed off at half time. That was half an hour in, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think I said to you that what was about 26 minutes, wasn't it, the goal or something like that?
Yeah. No, 31, wasn't it? 31.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I said that scoreboard will still say that when it's at 90 minutes.
You did say that. Many were thinking it.
Because why wouldn't you? That's exactly what's happened like we said, happened to the Bristol Rovers game.
Yeah.
Happened loads of other times.
Yeah.
That very much looked like where it was going at half time. Yeah. They come out. Nothing changed at half time. Coldwell doesn't want to do that ever, it seems. No matter what's going on. By the way, the Aimson inclusion,
Yes.
Coldwell says in his post-match interview, is down to something to do with Peterborough having pace on the wings.
Right.
Rather than Sweeney's got something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Like we said in the past few weeks, you know, maybe not the Bristol Rovers game, but Sweeney's been solid.
Yeah.
Really good in places, you know. But anyway, he's replaced by Aimson, and then Coldwell seemed to sort of blame it on the fans that Aimson played badly, you know. And I know that that you're not going to be going out filled with confidence, knowing that when your name is even read out on the team sheet, you're booed
By a few hundred people.
Yeah, by a bit.
Yeah.
And that. You're not necessarily a fan favourite, but I don't think you can blame that penalty on the fact that the fans aren't particularly keen on him. And what you could blame it on is the man hasn't played a match for over a month.
Yeah. And presumably we were trying to sell him.
Maybe, yeah. Quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, second half starts better. We're livelier.
Yeah, definitely. They look like they've...
Well, Coldwell said, didn't he, in post-match, you got booed off, lads, go and do something about it.
Yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
That's not to say that there wasn't chances for Peterborough,
It could have been 3-0 up at
before
half-time.
things change. Even
Yeah.
in the second half,
Yeah.
there's the chance where Sinisalo runs out, which you've seen him do a couple of times, runs miles out of his goal to try and get the ball. It goes over his head.
Yeah.
Mason Clark's got the ball right on the byline, swings it into the far post and narrowly. I mean, it's not a million miles away from the goal, but it's not that close. But, someone with a better finish.
Yeah.
We're 2-0 down and embarrassed there. So they did have chances. Another one where Chet Diabato had to turn the ball over his own bar.
Yeah.
And it's a dodgy one, but fair play. Chet, is in good form and that was the right thing to do there, but it was close. And then, so the first yellow card for this lab's in the first half, right?
Yeah, 10 minutes before half-time.
He gets booked for a challenge on Vinnie Harper.
That's right.
Harper winning so many free kicks in this match that, in fact, him getting fouled, let's say 4 times, is basically all the major incidents in the match.
Yeah, that's about right, isn't it?
First one for a yellow card.
Yeah.
Then there's a in the beginning, early on in the
second half,
early-ish on, he gets fouled again. Matey gets sent off.
Yeah.
They're down to 10.
Yeah, that's 55.
We finally get around to making some substitutions.
Mm-hmm.
Sweeney comes on.
Yeah.
Rankin comes on.
Yeah.
Niskanen off. Aimson off.
Yeah.
The 2 worst players on the pitch for us.
Yeah.
Colwell's replaced him. Fair enough. Should have done it at half time, but did it.
Yeah.
Enough.
Fair enough. Absolutely. That's what I mean about him. He's sometimes
them 2 should have started. I mean,
Well,
that's
true.
obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Barring any kind of fitness reasons, I don't know what the thinking was there.
Yep. So that's right. So we've then got half an hour to push on, and we are. And Harper and other players, but particularly Harper and Rankin, are just head down, running forward, which is what they're best at, which is what works well. They're doing it.
Harper looked decent all game. I thought at least he looked like an outlet and that could at least get us up the pitch and draw fouls like he kept doing.
Yeah. Then with 20 minutes to go, Issa comes on for Tom Carroll. So again, it's the obvious thing to do because, as Gary's done previously, he's made mad substitutions. So we've taken away a defensive midfielder.
At 10 minutes there, you don't need 10 men. Sorry, you don't need Tom Carroll
That's
on the
right.
pitch anymore.
So off he goes, and Issa goes up with Cox.
Yeah,
lovely. A couple more minutes in. This is 50 minutes from the end. Harper gets chopped down, 30 yards out from the goal line.
Bit less.
And takes ages, doesn't it? Takes ages to line up. By the way, Peterborough are wasting time on everything they possibly can, aren't they? At one point, the goalkeeper just lay down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of that.
But hadn't been touched. The ball hadn't even gone anywhere near him. I'm just going to lie down now.
No, lots of that happening. Just before this as well, Harper hit the post again from which also happened in the Bristol Rovers game. Fair enough. I have to mention that he did hit the post. Then this comes Reece Cole free kick. He's always trying him, isn't he?
Always
doesn't seem
trying
to be however far out doesn't matter, and he's come close a few times.
Yeah.
This one hits the post
inside of the post.
Then hits the keeper on the back and then goes in. We think.
Yeah. Because then Rankin's running in and makes sure, doesn't he?
I don't think he touches it, but yeah.
But make sure it crosses the line. So it's given us an own goal.
It's 1-1.
Reece Cole's livid, by the way, I'm sure. that is a good free kick.
Yeah. Well, both goals.
Yeah.
Because not long after that, Harper gets brought down again.
Other side of the pitch.
On the other side.
Yeah.
I think it's Harper anyway. Pretty sure it is.
There's only 5 minutes between the 2 goals. That's right. Yeah.
Reece Cole again rips a free kick in.
Yeah.
Which they take quickly, but not as quickly as they would have liked because the ref at one point makes them, do it again. And whips it in again. And then another Peterborough player, don't know his name, just pokes it into his own net.
Katongo.
Right. Looked a bit like on the TV camera that Czech had done an excellent finish, but from the big bank you could clearly see that it was
just an own goal.
It was an own goal, yeah.
2-1.
2-1.
And we play out the rest of the game fairly well.
They still had a couple of chances, even at 10 men, but on the whole, we did all right from
Ryan Woods comes on for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Makes some good passes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard to know because 10 men.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
That was
that's
absolutely honking night. So it was never going to be the world's greatest game of football.
no. This is. I mean, this is the thing. It's really good to get that. It's a brilliant result. It's a brilliant result beating Peterborough.
Yeah.
To score 2 goals.
Yeah.
Even if they're both own goals.
Who cares?
The reaction was really to their sending off was really like pleasing because it's not easy to play against 10 men all the time. You know, when we beat whoever it was with 10 men, who was that against? When Yannick scored and then we got someone sent off, probably Aimson as well, and then Yannick scored. Who was that against? Away from home.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway, it's hard sometimes to play against 10 men. And we really stepped up. Reece Cole, brilliant performance, just brilliant. And I think he was captain, wasn't he?
Was he?
And that's what you want from that's what sort of performance you want from your captain. And we forced 2 own goals.
Yeah. 3 points.
3 points.
Right, well,
really good. I mean, the thing is, we'll never know. But if they hadn't had a player sent off, which, by the way, was stupid because Vincent Harper was cutting inside about 15 yards in his own half.
Yeah.
And the guy was already on a yellow for fouling the same player and brought him down completely needlessly. If we hadn't had that player sent off, I still think we would have lost that game 1-0 or more.
Agreed.
But we'll never know that, so we can't really say.
Well, we'll take what we got. We're going to think about the league and what's coming up next in a minute. Welcome back to the Big Bank Theory. You can email us bigbankpod@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter @BigBankPod, and you can find us on Facebook too, the Big Bank Theory podcast. So, the eternal quest for 50 points continues. We're now on 36. I'm starting to doubt whether 50 is going to be enough. This is my only concern.
Really?
Well, Port Vale are in 21st on 30. We've played 3 more games than them. We're on 31 games, which is more than almost anyone else in the league except Portsmouth. But if 50 is going to do it for us, we're 14 points away.
Yeah.
Which is, well, 5 wins would do it. So we sit in 14th, minus 19 on goal difference. And below us, Cambridge 35, Wickham 34, Shrewsbury 33, Burton 32, Charlton 31, Reading 31 in the last safe place, Port Vale 30. Below them, it's Fleetwood 25, Cheltenham 23, Carlisle 20. Going above us, Wigan, who are Saturday's opponents, 37, Lincoln 38, Northampton and Bristol Rovers 40, Leyton Orient in 9th, 45. So that's our ceiling, I'd imagine. But like we said, the league's not very good. Couple more wins and we'd be in the top half of the table, bizarrely.
Yeah.
Saturday sees us going.
I mean, not that bizarrely. I mean, at least recently, you can say what you want about the performances, and we have, and about some of the football we have to endure.
Yeah.
But Saturday aside, our results this year have just been brilliant, really, haven't they?
Oh yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
We've beaten Barnsley, we've beaten Cambridge, and
beaten Peterborough.
Sorry, would it be Cambridge? Whatever. I mean, I meant Peterborough, but so. However you do it, ultimately, if we're just thinking about points and survival, we're doing enough currently.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just not much fun to watch a lot of the time. But
it is not. So Wigan are directly above us.
Big week. Another big week.
The DW Stadium, of course, and Colwell's old mate, Sean Maloney.
Well, yeah, this is the 3rd time we've played them already this season.
Yeah.
We've lost both the other 2. Colwell's old mate, Colwell's old club. Yeah. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. They managed to beat Peterborough at the weekend, didn't they? So, yeah, we'll see.
What would you like to see?
A point.
Yeah.
I think any points away from home, although ironically, of course, we're better away from home at the moment.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd take a point in, I think, any away game that's left this season,
Yeah.
even if it's against, whoever's bottom of the league.
If we can come out of these next 2 games with 3 points, a win and a loss, I think lovely.
Oh, I think that would be, we're getting to the point there where we're thinking it's well within our grasp,
Yes, that's
survival, if we can not lose these next 2.
Yeah.
I mean, still, we're not mathematically safe, but,
One more win.
I want to see...
Which we're 4 games away, 4 wins away.
Okay, I'm really hoping that we can see more of Moisa.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him start if that's possible.
Yeah.
Although I suspect it's probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He looked fine. Maybe like to see Ryan Woods play a bit more as well. I want to see more of what he can do, and I think perhaps somebody with a slightly different skill set in there will be better. Tom Carroll, I know a lot of people don't particularly like watching Carroll, and I think, like I've said loads of times on this, in a different team, he's a different player, but currently, the way we're doing it, he's contributing massively to the boredom.
Yeah.
And the kind of going nowhereness. So, yeah, wouldn't mind seeing that. I go again, I doubt it will happen, and then maybe Ali, maybe he's fit enough to get some minutes.
Yeah.
Been training, so we can't be that injured.
No, indeed.
Yeah, so...
Harris is obviously back now and can do
Yes.
Is a good alternative, isn't he? Then, Tuesday night, Derby in second. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah. But so was last night.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll get someone sent off.
Yeah. If you could arrange that, please, lads, that would be very helpful. That's the tougher of the 2 games, obviously, by miles. And if we go and beat Wigan, you'd think, like, okay, well, let's not disgrace ourselves at home, and that's fine, isn't it? But if we lose at Wigan, you're looking for more at home. And also, it's a real shame. We're digging into people's goodwill here, and I know it'll be busier because obviously Derby will bring a sellout crowd, and I know it'll probably be busier because it's half term, but it's these are all showcases for this football club,
Well, you just want people to stay interested in it. It's
Yeah.
taken so long to build up to this, to get to where we are, and to kind of like build the kind of like and improve the match day experience, and all that,
which they've done brilliantly.
which they've done, and it's all good. And I mean, but then it's just kind of it's tough. It's tough going sometimes, like standing there and watching that.
Yeah,
and you only want a little bit more kind of initiative of being taken or something, but who knows? It's got to change. I mean, it doesn't have to change. But...
Well, that last half an hour last night kind of reminds you how exciting it can be and how enjoyable it can be.
Yeah, we've just seen so few goals.
Yeah.
At home this season, haven't we? And it's just like, and last night, yeah, great, got a couple of goals. I mean, got a really good win, both own goals, and both, and neither of them were from open play.
Yeah.
So, just wouldn't mind seeing a kind of like I said, if we can beat Wigan away, kind of by whatever means, and then we can give a good account of ourselves even against Derby, and maybe even score a goal, like maybe get one of the strikers to score, a goal in front of the big bank that's a good goal, or that's
yeah.
I don't know. I know ultimately these things don't matter, and it's all about getting the results, and we are doing that. So,
but they do matter in terms of like the club relies upon attendance more than some other clubs do, and the attendance is dropping.
Well, sold out at home, wasn't it? So against Bristol Rovers. So.
Yeah, I just think that game's always going to be busy. It was brilliant, wasn't it? A year ago, 18 months ago, when games that wouldn't normally have been busy were.
Yeah.
And you think, well, that's an extra £20,000 each extra 1,000 people, and there we are.
Hopefully, like you said, with all the kind of things going on, hopefully Derby on the Tuesday will be packed.
Yeah.
And we can give people a reason to come back again.
Moisa scores a brilliant goal and we win. It can become a distant memory really quickly, can't it? But I'm just I just don't understand this style of football that we're currently engaged in. But there we are.
Yeah,
Call me a romantic, Dan. It's nearly Valentine's Day after all.
it is. The other thing is we've just passed the 5-year mark of doing this.
Talking of
doing this podcast.
romantic arrangements.
5 years.
5 years we've been here.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Dan.
Thank you. No.
Don't know.
Okay.
Thanks, listeners, for sticking with us for 5 years. More of you listen now than did at the start. In fact, you're the most people that have ever listened to us. So,
Is it? Have we
yeah.
sort of plateaued a bit?
No, we've gone up again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what we can do to get more listeners.
Do a
Given that,
podcast about a more popular team, I'd imagine.
yeah, and given that we don't really do anything else other than just do them,
Yeah.
I've still got a massive bag of stickers at home. At one point, I used to sort of put them around, but now they just sit there.
Maybe we should put them around again.
I know.
5th year anniversary and all that.
Maybe.
Hey, if you'd like one, listeners, let us know how we can get one to you. We're not going to post them. We're not made of stamps.
Well, you could send us a stamped address
You
envelope
could send
like
us
the
a
old
stamped
days.
address envelope. We'd stick a good old bunch in.
Yeah.
Or tell us where it would be best. I can't even think what would be useful.
If not, we'll just give loads to whoever wins that predictions competition.
Yeah.
Someone had asked for an update on that, like a halfway update or whatever, but I'm not counting all the votes. It's annoying enough counting them all up once. I'm not doing it twice.
No, indeed.
So you'll find out who won at the end of the season.
Well, also, how can you do a halfway predict? We weren't predicting what the results would be halfway through.
Exactly. Exactly.
When Ryan Woods is Player of the Year, you'll be sorry you didn't choose him.
That would have been
Quite
the
remarkable.
shout.
That
Yeah.
would have been, yeah.
Yeah, there
All
you go.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back after Derby, Wednesday,
Yes,
All
this
right.
time next week.
this time next week. My name's John. Been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.